Okay, we're going to finish this section up on solving equations. Now, this video, they're not factored for us, where the last video they were factored. So that's really most of the work when you factor it. Now, remember, whenever you factor, you always look for the GCF. All these ones that we're doing, there's going to be no GCF. So we're going to factor it into two binomials, which is what it says right here. Okay, so if I do number 1, I see that it's x squared. So I know when I put this in, I'm going to have x in each. Okay, I have it that it's set equal to 0. Now, since this last sign's a positive, I go same sign to the first. That's a positive. So I'm going to have two positives in here. So plus and plus. So then I'm asking myself, all right, what are two numbers that multiply to give me 6? That's the product. And add to give me 5. 5x is the sum. My only factors for 6 are 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. So 2 and 3 clearly work. 2 plus 3 is 5, so I put 2 and 3 in here. And then if I set each of these equal to 0, we'll have x plus 2 equals 0 and x plus 3 equals 0. So then you're going to subtract 2 from both sides. We get x to equal negative 2. Subtract 3 from this right here. If I subtract 3, I'll show this work. So you get x to equal negative 3. So these are the two solutions. X equals negative 2 and x equals negative 3. Now I'm going to go back up to something we wrote down earlier. Well, actually, I don't have it here. It's actually where it has main objective when solving quadratic equations. They always have to be set equal to 0. And number 1, it was set equal to 0. I'm going to do, you know what, I'm going to jump to number 4. Number 4, see how it's equal to negative 55? Well, I can't solve for this until I have all the terms on one side and it equals 0. So I want to move this negative 55 to the left side. So I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to add 55. So I just have to rearrange a little bit. So that cancels, and that's going to equal 0. Then the left side I have to add 55. So the quadratic equation on the left side is a squared minus 16a, and that's going to be plus 55. So since this first term is a squared, that means I'm going to have a in each. That's the first term in each of the binomials. Okay, it's set equal to 0. Now since, okay, this last one's a positive, so I go same sign to the first. The first sign's a negative, so I'm going to have a minus here and a minus here. So I'm going to put minus, minus. Then, this is the main part, 55, I want to get all the factors. You know, I'm going to list all the factors for 55 up here. I know I have 1 in 55. Let's see, 2 doesn't go into it, 3 doesn't go into it, 4 doesn't go into it. If you're not sure, use your calculator. 5 does go into it because it ends in a 5. 5 times 11 is 55. And I can stop right there because when I add these up, 5 and 11, that gives me the sum of 16. So I can put 5 and 11 in. So we get a minus 5 and a minus 11. So when I solve for it, right, I'm doing a minus 5 equals 0 and a minus 11 equals 0. So you're just going to add. You're going to add 5. So your solution, I'm going to put it in over here, is a equals 5. And here you add 11. So 0 plus 11, you get a to equal 11. Okay, so I showed you one example, the easier example when it's set equal to 0. You just factor it right away. Then set your factors equal to 0. Then I showed you one example right here where it's not equal to 0. Make sure to move that term over to the other side so it's set equal to 0, and then you can factor.